I guess you guys saved the best for the last.
You deserve.
So I just want to thank everybody in here. I want to thank you for putting up with some of the owners that came here from Millpond, and I wasn't here. And you guys had the trouble handling them.
State your name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just say who you are.
I'm George Kuzni. I'm from Millpond.
In the Millpond board. So everybody knows there are 60 units over at Millpond,
Right.
which is a separate association. They do pay our dues and get all our services, but in addition, they're townhouses.
We offer extra services.
Right.
So as you know, trend went out a long time ago about question and answer, so people start preparing and releasing statements. So I figured I'll do my homework. I print 2 pages, and if you bear with me, I will read them for you. And if you have questions after that, I'll be glad to answer anything. So here how it goes. My name is George Kuzni. I'm the one-man show as referred to by some when it comes to Millpond, since I'm the president, treasurer, and the working director. I own more than a few properties in the Poconos. My townhouse in Millpond, however, was the first property I purchased in Pennsylvania. In my college years, I was into science, physics, and math. I've concentrated on electronics. Then I enrolled at the University of California, Berkeley, extension courses for microprocessors and digital communications, along with some management and supervision classes. I gain credibility and make friends easy, especially with open-minded and cultured people. Because I have the patience, plus some, along with being an optimist, I tend to see the plus side of any situation. Combine that with a proactive attitude have always enabled me to take the worst situations and turn them into positive experiences. When it comes to being a team player, I was labeled by former board members of Millpond, that is, as the devil advocate. And then the token male and all that stuff. The economic and the real estate harsh times then hit. For those who are not familiar with real estate, it's very well documented that townhouses are the first to fall and the last to recover. I wasn't among people who knew how to face hard times, but I lived through civil wars. Consequently, one by one, board members jumped ship, and against my own attorney's advice, I decided to pick up the pieces. I remember very well, and I'm sure he does, when former President Bill Montgomery called me panicking after he heard about our situations. I remember assuring him that I will take care of things, and I did. One of my first priorities was to give Millpond a facelift, along with gaining the confidence of owners, not necessarily in me or the board. As a matter of fact, there was no board. But to have a great faith that things will improve. The newly installed decks have never been power washed or stained for lack of funds. They were covered with slippery slime. We barely had $40,000 in the bank, a couple of bounced checks, no reserve, and high dues. And by the way, by then, the newly installed decks were 5 years old, suffering from the exposure of summer and winter elements. I was able to negotiate with a contractor to have all the building power washed, along with staining all the decks and porches. At the same time, I wrote the software to track all our billing and payments. By looking at the big pictures, I was able to immediately reduce our dues. In the first year, I took control by about $600. Owners took notice, and I was lucky to have 2 more people on board. At the same time, we had a second problem to deal with. It was a huge loan balance left and the painful mortgage payments we had to pay periodically to the bank. After negotiating the interest with the bank, I was able to reduce the special loan assessment to owners from $2,410 to $2,260. I inherited our contractors for grass cutting, snow removal, grinder pumps repair, parking light repair, and other services. I don't believe you should be surprised if I tell you, one by one, I had to terminate their contracts. As you can see from all this, I inherited the mess. Not necessarily at the same time, the big mess Obama inherited. But I was on the way to learn quickly on how to deal with problems as they arise one at a time. With home prices at the record low, as you see in SawCreek at the time as well, the pattern emerges as bad elements and speculators buy into the place. And we have more than our share of those. Of course, we cannot blame them, nor can we stop them. But make no mistake about it, they have no interest in being community-minded. All they care is about themselves. On the better side of the story, I pursued all our delinquent accounts. I was able to recover most, if not every penny owed to us. Our collection was so successful that we have established a couple of reserve funds. Our operating account is very healthy, and our community is in great shape. We have a great support from many owners, especially those who have been owners for a long time. I'd like to remind some of you that even a small community like ours, consisting of 60 units, I haven't been able to meet in person all the owners, and it would be impossible no matter how hard I try. Some are simply absentee landlords and landladies, and they keep reassuring me how thrilled they are by owning in Millpond. And why not? When anyone calls me, the calls rarely goes to voicemail. I try answering every call. I deal with owners, contractors, title companies, lawyers, real estate agents, day laborers. I deal with the court system and civil suit. I issue resale certificate. I take care of all the dollars and the pennies coming and going and make sure they are all accounted for. I conduct meetings with other board members, and I tend to all the normal necessity plus all the exceptions. When it comes to negotiating any settlement, I make sure our attorney is out of the loop. With all due respect to the legal profession and some, but not all the lawyers I have met, please don't forget that litigations are parasitic in nature, and we don't need any parasites. I take to heart accountability and responsibility. We operate on something called covenants. For those of you who don't know the meaning, please look it up. Better yet, ask your priest, rabbi, pastor, or imam. I have learned at one time during a wedding ceremony, a covenant is a contract. However, opposite a business contract is simply based on trust, not the other way around. And I value trust as something sacred. We have been very cooperative in every aspect to be fully transparent with all owners. But as you and everyone you know, you simply cannot rationalize with irrational people. That being said, let me remind you that I, just as a cedar tree with deep, strong root embedded in rich, strong soil as foundation, will not bow to a wind storm. The few evil-minded owners bent on opposing us and question our integrity are nothing but a breeze, a bump in the road, and won't affect our destiny. Any question?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.